Hello, welcome to the Squarebase Show, the home of some of the greatest old-world content creators ever to live. And today, we're deep diving into the Merwyrm.
Merwyrm.
Well, yeah, this is just going to be. It's just going to be a Toy 10, as we like to call them. Toy 10. Toy 10. Because as Val regularly points out, and hello everyone for watching us. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks. Yeah, hey. As Val regularly points out, we before the glut of information that we have had for the old world, we would be covering if we had been told before the launch of the old world that even a Merwyrm would be coming out, we would have lost our freaking minds. We would have gone and found
there would have been Merwyrm. It would have been Merwyrm March.
Week. Yeah, Merwyrm March. Yeah. So we are going to be at least talking about the fact that it's returning and going through this article in just a quick Toy 10. Normally, sometimes this would be buried inside the podcast, but I think it deserves its own kind of respect. So I'm gonna jump us off the top, old pal, if you don't mind. The Merwyrm returns from the depths. The High Elf realms are a place of learning, poise, and refinement. The people of Ulthuan are master warriors, scholars, craftspeople, and anything else to which they deign to turn their delicate hands. In no way will we be talking about the Eurocentric homogeny of fantasy right there, but yikes. Hashtag Bast. So it's always a surprise.
Bast is back, baby.
Yeah, Bast is back. That's it's a crazy first statement, but we'll go with it, okay? So it's always a surprise to their foes when they pitch up to a fight. Pitch up! Hello. Pitch up to a fight with a grotesque behemoth. Grotesque is unfair. A behemoth in their midst. A scaly, sinuous Merwyrm thrashing about and making violent nuisance of itself in the least graceful manner possible, which I personally think is out of order. What do you think about the Merwyrm slander early doors, straight off the bat?
I mean, they're coming out swinging. Shots are being fired. We're saying that the elves have soft hands, and then this beautiful girl, this beautiful Merwyrm is being slighted. I think it's being a little unfair from Warcom today for the Denzians of the old world, but it's not the first time. It's not the first time that we've seen some slanderous, libelous words from Warhammer community when it comes to the old world. They're out to get us, Rob.
Yeah. They are not a department that enjoys the old world success. The email came in, it slid across the writer's desk, and they were like, "It's time to do a Merwyrm deep dive." And the guy's like, "Oh, God." Okay, so I guess
I need to, before we continue, I think we should stop and actually read the word of the monster, because I'm learning just now it's a Merwyrm. It's a Merwyrm.
Yeah, Merwyrm. It's half man, half worm. Isn't it?
Merwyrm. Yeah, well, yeah, but I've literally never stopped long enough to look at all the letters in this word. I knew that there was an M and a Y, and then it ended with an M. And so I thought it was like Merwyrm or Merwyrm. It's just literally Merwyrm.
Yeah,
no one else is blown away by this?
Okay,
just me? My bad?
No, you're right. I think Mer, by the way, refers to the water, because a merman and mermaid, so I've got that wrong. So this is a water worm. Water worm, baby. Right?
Or maybe Mary. Maybe it's just a Merwyrm, and again, being slandered. It's just a happy-go-lucky land fish. We got land ships in Warhammer. We got land fish.
Well, there's a description. The Merwyrms are a distant, watery cousin of the dragons, among the most ancient beasts in the old world. The Sea Lords sometimes summon them to bind them to their will, letting them loose writhe in battle, battering and eviscerating the foe with their heavy bulk, sharp claws, a dark, watery foil to the nobility of the dragons above. So, what do you make my fine fellow, of this cousin to a dragon?
I mean, do they need to relate it to a dragon? I mean, this feels a bit Star Warsy in that everyone is someone else's brother or sister.
That's true.
Like, I mean, just the Merwyrm could have just been a stumpy armed sea creature, and that would have been fine. But that's cool. I believe this is canonical, that they are somehow the forgotten step siblings of the dragons, scuttling about on the beaches. On the beaches. I think that's fine. I don't know. How does it strike you? I mean, they don't have a ton of scales, I'm noticing, which is odd because they're sort of a fish.
I've always liked the Merwyrm because as an OG Lizardman player, the concept of a Merwyrm also maybe made me think at one point in my life I may be able to use the aquatic rule that was located on many. Like you gotta imagine for a Lizardman player. Yeah, when you see a Lizardman player, when they see a Merwyrm, you're like, do you want to play some swamps or some water? And then like everyone else is like, no. And you're like, well.
So some deep lore of the Squarebase podcast, in case you're just joining us. A few months ago, Rob committed to painting around 150 feet of rivers. And when he committed to that, I didn't really understand why. I thought, I mean, it's a nice idea. It'd be cool if there were some rivers. I never connected it to the fact that you're a diehard Lizardman player and you just have desperately wanted to have rivers in play this whole time.
More than you can imagine.
And you were just living a dream. And I wish I'd put that together sooner. I would have actually supported you in that insane thing that you did.
Yeah, it's like trauma. I'm like basically just using that trauma. I was like, this board, have you got any rivers? And they were like, no, we didn't use rivers, you idiot. I even like back in the day, Warhammer Fantasy Battle Days, you could take terrain to events yourself, and it like was preset what terrain you were meant to bring. But I was always like, I would always email the TA. I was like, do you want me to bring a couple of ponds? And they were like, no.
Some pools, perhaps for
maybe a
spawning,
maybe a bog. Are you interested in at least a marsh? So anyway, so the Merwyrm and his aquatic, because we get one of the arcane, the armies of infamy for the upcoming High Elf roster. Go check out our High Elf review. Is obviously going to be including kind of like the sea creature or the sea elements of the island nation of Ulthuan and the High Elves. So you return. What do you think of the actual model, though? This is a Trish. Sculpt, so Trish Carden. Sculpt, like an OG, and also one of our follow-up videos is we're going to be looking at all of those sculpts that were previously from SDS, because this was a Forge World kind of classic that emerged later in Monstrous Arcanum.
Yep.
Which is pretty
cool. Maybe Storm of Magic?
You were right. Yeah, also Storm Magic. But also what's interesting is that like we are diving into like effectively extended publications, right, to showcase some of these sculpts. And I personally am quite excited about this. Along those lines, I have owned a Merwyrm. I have painted a Merwyrm. And I'm a fan of the Merwyrm. What does everyone think of the sculpt, and what do you think?
This is the one that got away from Rob's collection because I traded a computer to Rob for all of his fantasy stuff about 2 years ago. It was fantastic. It was a great deal. I'm still finding bits from Rob's former collection. The Merwyrm, I have to say, this model is so banging that like it might be rules proof for me as far as a pickup is concerned.
Okay.
Because it's just so cool. I really love the pose. Like it's kind of got a reverse tactical rock on that little shipwreck that it's climbing around on, which is very neat. It is, I don't know. It's a very evocative, very cool miniature. How big is it? What is the scale like on this? I guess it is compared with the.
Yeah, you can compare it to a Charybdis, like kind of like size. So it's around that size. So it's
I'll
very
look up
cool.
What a Charybdis is.
Obviously, it's it's Dark Elf mini, but as
okay, Hydra,
as a Charybdis Hydra, sorry, Hydra for Dark Elves. I apologize. Charybdis came later, maybe. Did Charybdis come out in 8th edition? I feel like it came out in 8th edition.
It was the combo kit. So it was just two different monsters, same kit.
Yeah. It was super cool. I personally think it's a great model. Let us know in the comments what you think. It's obviously going to be a resin miniature, so it'll go together like crap because they all go together like crap. But
not anymore. Not the new world. Not the new Forge World stuff. Right?
It's like 3 octaves different in your voice.
I am told by Warhammer community, which we've covered, has never lied to us
ever.
That Forge World resin has been tooled up, is retuned.
Forge
World resin. Actually, yeah. I put together. I helped.
Can you confirm or deny? Can someone in the comments confirm and deny?
Well, okay. This is entirely based on the orc wyvern, which was sort of resculpted to like actually fit together better. But and then cast in resin. But that was an old pewter mini that they sort of retooled for this. So I don't know. What I want to call out is this a repaint? Is this a new look for the Merwyrm? Did it have a studio paint job previously? Because I love the paint job. I think it's really pretty. I love the orange scales and stuff.
Most of the monsters didn't have a paint job. The Merwyrm might have had one. It might be one of the rare ones that didn't. That did, because some of them did, some of them didn't. It was kind of like a weird flex. But either way, it's a great paint job, and it looks cool on the tabletop. Love it. Right, this is a rare kit return.
Not a repaint.
Okay. This is a rare kit returning to the range from the first time in more than a decade. A beast once part of the Warhammer Forge range, cast in Forge or resin. High Elf commanders may add one to their ranks, provided they also recruit a regiment of Lothern Sea Guard, which you probably would, right? Such a fine beast as a range of special rules, much as majesty. Its abyssal cloak makes it harder to hit with ranged weaponry, which I read first time and I was like stoked, and then I reread and I was like, oh no. And with it, while its pall of enfeebling cold weakens those who would try to harm it in melee, granting additional longevity while it's set about with 4 attacks at strength 6, weapon skill 6. Hello. That's not bad. Okay. Strength 6 and weapon skill 6. So the special rules are the Abyssal Cloak is an enemy model that normally would suffer -1 to hit for shooting at long range, suffers -2.
Weapon skill 6, not bad for the least graceful manner possible, Warcom.
Right, yeah, I know, right?
Sounds pretty graceful. Weapon skill 6 sounds pretty graceful to me.
Yeah, that's pretty graceful. So watch out, Warcom. We're coming for you. -2 to be shot at long range versus -1. What are you thinking?
I mean,
could it be less?
Somewhat useful?
Could it be less?
Could it be a less useful thing?
Maybe.
Maybe. They could not have it. They could not have the rule.
That's true. That's at least nice enough for like I guess like Iron Drakes and other stuff. You don't want it. Like that all helps.
Sure. I mean, it does help you.
But the reason you're going to bring it around is the enfeebling cold. While in base contact with this model, enemy models suffer a -1 modifier to their strength characteristic, which is obviously like a little bit of not as strong as you maybe would want it to be. You would want it to be enemy units. Because it's only going to be the specific models it's going to be in base-to-base contact with, but that might help you when you are fighting against a large, kind of monstrous, dragony looking type of model. If for some way you can wombo combo a charge, reducing their strength is pretty nice.
Yeah, and in the age of the fighting rank, you'd certainly love to see to the unit in contact with, because although it's in base with, if it's soloing into a unit, you would not want all of the extra attacks from the fighting rank to not be penalized, but that is the case here. That's okay. 4 attacks. Maybe want more. I'd be curious to know, does it have any other defenses? Does it have a regen? Does it have a save? I'll be curious to see how many points is it? How many points are we thinking here?
So let's do a guess. So what have we got? We've definitely got weapon skill 6 attacks. I think we're going to see it at toughness 5. Don't think it'll end up being toughness 6. Probably toughness 5. 5
it's a cousin of a dragon, though. Cousin of a dragon.
Yeah, you could be. Like you're absolutely right. But I'm going to say toughness 5. I think it's going to be move 8, move 6, move 6, toughness 5 with 5 wounds. What do you reckon?
Yeah, no, that feels good. I feel toughness 6 would, because then you're just 6 across the board. That feels That feels like a good instinct here. Let me just see if I can find in the Monstrous Arcanum, which I should have had up already.
It would be funny if it's like just look at the Arcanum and see if it's exactly the same.
Oh yeah, so let's find out. Well, we already know it's not quite the same. So we got movement 6, weapon skill 6, ballistic skills nothing, strength 6, toughness 6, 5 wounds. Rob, maybe something was telling you from the back of your mind. Mm-hmm. Initiative 4, 5 attacks, leadership 7, and 235 points.
I reckon that's probably close to exactly what's going to happen. Maybe 210. Maybe it'll be 210. I don't know.
Now, here's something interesting. The Merwyrm was actually the lowest tier of grotesque sea monsters. Mm-hmm. There was also the Pego Worm and the Scio Worm, which were upgraded versions of it. So there you go.
Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, all from the Monstrous Arcanum. But I'm excited about this. I am very excited about this because for a couple of different reasons. Like, I don't think it's the first instance because we've dipped into additional text. We've gone back in time, right? We've done Badland Ogres. We've gone back in time, but the connection with with Monstrous Arcanum and some of the other stuff, I don't know if we've touched on yet. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, or Val, correct me with your voice.
We as in us, or as in like
the game, the old world. I know it's crazy, but I'm lumping myself in with the community. I'm doing it. Saying I'm in.
Oh, come on, you stand above it.
That's not true.
You stand above. The thing I would say, actually, completely accidentally discovered this yesterday because I was sitting in my chair, looking at my bookshelf, and I thought, oh, look, I have the Storm of Chaos book for, I guess that was 6th edition, which was the alternate timeline. This is actually something that gets retconned out of the game. But within it, I think 6th edition and the sort of the supplementary army lists that they did a bunch of fun stuff, including I discovered Kislev. And also, I think it's a High Elf Sea Patrol is what it's called.
Oh, cool.
And one of the unit entries way back when was a Merwyrm.
Oh, nice.
And I have to think that predates Warhammer Forge. So the Merwyrm was just referred to as a monster that these guys could roll with, and I'm not sure if it existed anywhere else or not before we got to Monstrous Arcanum. Because oddly, it's also, I don't think in Storm of Magic, we're getting deep, guys. But anyway, it was part of the Storm of Chaos army list for I think it was High Elf Sea Patrol or Sea Guard, or I don't think it was Sea Guard, it was something like that. But that is literally, I think, what they're using as inspiration for the Army of Infamy that we're going to see in the Arcane Journal.
That's cool. Neat. That is a cool place to find it from. But I am excited about them, like, because they did mention the Monstrous Arcanum in this article as well. Well, they mentioned Warhammer Forge. So I would be excited to, which is going to be the impetus for us talking about all of that on another show. So it's super exciting because actually there's some really spicy nuggets that they could bring out, and maybe like the hints of stuff in the future. Because I think we're going to get real weird with it. I think 2nd edition comes around. We're going to start seeing some weird armies. Val's talked about Norska. We've talked about these on previous shows, which I think should get a super hype for the future. Because I think that the gravy train, as they say, is no longer running out of gravy. Is that what they say?
I think that they've kept a lot of gravy boats in reserve. Let's just say that they didn't go all the way into. They didn't go all the way to the end of the buffet. They've only gone, as far as sort of that salad bar. Appy sort of section of the buffet. There's lots of depth and breadth left for
the
them
beetroot
to
section.
Pull things from.
Yeah,
exactly.
Beetroot,
that's as far as Rob ever gets. So like that's all he really needs. And probably the soup section as well. Again,
I'm really excited.
Very front loaded.
I'm really excited. Merwyrm returns. More High Elves to come. Very Merwyrm. Let us know in the comments below what you're thinking. If you're hype, if you're excited, loads of love. Thanks for listening. See you guys soon. Goodbye.